Hey guys, welcome back. So guys, as we are continuing our Laravel Ajax Image CRUD application, and now we are going to learn how to edit the data and update the data in our database without the page reload using jQuery Ajax. So guys, let's get started with it. So let's move to our VS Code. And now guys, as we have fetched the data using jQuery, in previous video we have learnt, and here is one button guys. So let me just minimize this sidebar. So this is my edit button, and when I click this edit button, we have to get this item ID. Whatever the ID you have passed over here, that ID we will take that and send in our model and then update that. Okay, so let's begin with that. Let's start over here, jq on event, where we will tell document, where this will be click event guys, dot your edit button. So copy this edit button. So event dot prevent default function alert. So what you're going to alert, let's create one variable called emp underscore id is equal to $this dot val. So when you click this edit button, so that time that value I'm going to take and store in this employee ID, and let's see that in alert. Let's refresh, and yep guys, so let's click on ID number 3 first. You are getting ID 3. Let's click on 1. You are getting 1. Perfect. So now guys, we are going to use the same model, okay, to fetch all the data of this. Okay, so let's get back. Let's comment this alert and call the model. So model function, where you will tell show and the model ID hash edit employee model. Okay, so this will be a model ID. So let's go top. Okay, let's minimize this first, and this is our model guys. So let's copy this model, repaste it. Let's mention this as edit employee model. Okay, edit employee model, copy and paste and end that. Perfect. So just mention end. So this will be our end over here, and make this button to update. Change the title first, edit employee, and this is your to show the error list. So instead of save error list, you are going to tell update error list, and the input fields will be same. You need to just add one more thing, that is the ID, because we want to get that data and paste into this ID. So let's tell edit underscore name, copy and paste for this also, and mention edit underscore phone, paste. We don't require this image. Okay, we don't need to pass any image data over here, so just ignore that. And now one input field guys. So let's pass input, where let's make it to text right now, because name is equal to emp underscore id, and then the value it will automatically store. Okay, so before that, id is equal to emp underscore id. All set. This is your form ID. So instead of add employee form, you need to make it to update employee form. Okay, and one submit button with the update. Perfect. So guys, now main motto, we have to get back. Let me just minimize this function, copy this your model. So get back, this is the model ID, just paste that. So we need to replace with the model, so edit model. On that you're going to do these things. So let's see the output. First, when I click this, model should come at least. Cool. So edit employee model, and now guys, let's fetch all this data. So when I click this ID number 3, so 3 ID name and phone number, it should come. Let's get back to the JavaScript jQuery. So let's call the Ajax guys, jq Ajax, where you're going to use get method. So get and give a URL. You can tell edit employee / concatenate with the emp ID. Okay, so this will be employee ID, and we are not sending any data, or just remove this too, not required. So once you get the response over here, you will show. So before getting response, let's create the route. Let's use get method / where ID you're going to pass inside this, and then going to your controller. So let's copy that controller, where you will tell edit function. So let's copy this, move to our controller and create a simple edit function guys. So public function, where edit function $ID, create a variable called employee is equal to your model emp employee : where you're going to find. So just find function $ID. Let's send over here. So if the ID is found, you will show that, else you are going to show some else. Okay, so let's tell return a response function with the JSON format, where you are going to tell that it is successful. So status will be 200, and the data you are going to send with the employee variable. Copy and paste. All set guys. If in case if the ID is not found, so at that time you will show the message over here as ID not found, means 404. Okay, so that thing is not found, and remove this, tell not found, make it to message. Okay, employee not found. Save guys, and now let's get back to our script. At this success function, you are going to check two conditions, where this response dot status double equal to 404. So this one. Okay, so this 404 status we are checking. If it is 404, then you are going to tell that given alert like the response which you got. So response dot the message what you have sent. Copy this message and send it. That's it guys, and close the model. So let's copy this, paste, and instead of show, make it to hide. Else, that means if there is no 404, obviously it's 200 message, or else you can give just same condition if 200. Okay, so you are getting the data. Let's paste that. So I mean input field response dot the employee variable. What is that variable we have sent? Employee. Copy this employee dot your database column names. Okay, so these column names, name, phone, image. Okay, so those are the fields. Let's get back, where you're going to paste in the ID edit underscore name. Okay, so this field is already created over here, as you can see. next will be your edit phone and then emp id. Okay, so let's get back. Name, phone, over here phone, and then one more, your emp underscore id. The emp id is you are getting directly, so let's paste that directly. Okay, all set guys, and let's test it. Refresh. So let's click on first id 3. I'm going to click edit. You can see that third data has come. Perfect. Let's close. Let's click on id number 1. You can see that id number 1 data has come. So guys, we have seen that, and now let's update this record. So let's get back. First step, we will make that input of id, employee id, as hidden. We don't want to show that. And on this button, update, that is submit with the form id. Okay, so let's build it. Let's minimize this edit function. Over here, jq doc, not doc, jq on event we will check. So document get ready, where event will be our submit. So when that submit button is clicked, on what it is clicked? Your form id. So let me just get that form id. This is my form and this is the id guys. So let's copy this and get back and paste. Perfect. So whenever that form is submitted, that time you will get the output over here. So event.prevent default. So this will prevent your page reload. Okay. So now guys, let's get the id. So where emp, or just make it to id is equal to where open and close dot val function, not vval, it's val, where hash emp id. So this emp id you are getting from your form. Okay, so let me just show that. This is the input field emp id. Copy this emp id and just paste that, so you'll get the id. And after this guys, let's create let edit form data. Okay, it's equal to new form data. We are going to submit the form. Okay, so all the input or a file, whatever data comes over here, this will support it. Dollar open and close, where array of 0. Over here, your form data, of what form data you are going to take? Your employee update. Okay, so update form with the hash, because it's an id. Perfect. So let's send all the data from this to your Ajax request and update the data. So tell jq Ajax, where you will tell post method. So we will be using post method over here. We are not going to use put or patch. So let's create a URL called update-employee with the id. We will concatenate that over here. So this id, let's send this id, and the data is this, and data type we are not sending. Let's remove and call that process data and content type. So let me just type content type colon false and process data colon false. So make sure you are adding these two, otherwise your form will not work. Okay, and now once it's done, you are getting the success response. So before getting the response and output, let's create the route colon post method. Okay, we are using post 1. Send that with the id. Use the same controller guys. Paste where you will tell update function. Copy this, go to your employee controller and create a update function. Just type function where update with the request. So we are getting all the request and all. So type request, and over here first we will search that data is there or not. So that means validation we are going to do. So let's tell validator, let me just copy from the add of the form. Okay, we have done that already. So let's copy all these things and we'll modify it. Copy, and I'll just show you how to do that. So first validator, I don't want to validate image. Okay, so in some case we don't use image, right? So we are removing that image, and then validator fails, then you are going to show 400. That means something is going fishy over there, else you are going to find that. Okay, so let's remove this new object employee : find function where you are telling $id. So this $id you are getting from your update. Okay, set, and now this, with this help of $id, you are updating all the records. What in case of if this id is mismatch? So like you have right now 2, 3. What in case of if you put 100? So at that time you need to check that. Okay, so for that also let's use if else condition, else. So this $employee, if it is correct means true means then you are going to be in. So okay, if you are not there, if that id is not found, then you are going to show the message as 404 employee not found. So let's copy this response and paste as 404 and tell employee not found. Okay, and if the employee is found, then you are going to update his name, phone and image. So before updating the image you have to remove the image, guys. So for that you need to use file. So before checking the file, let's check the path. Path is equal to where uploads folder, employee folder with your $employee of image column. Okay, so this will find your path, and then you are going to use if condition where you will use a file where exists. Okay, exist function with this $path. If this $path exists means then you are coming in and then deleting the data. So delete function with the $path. All set. It will delete the old record and then it will store this, okay, with the new record. So you are going to make no changes over here, guys. And before that you need to import this. So let's import class. Okay, so you can find eliminate supports facets. Okay, file. So let's click this. Let me just show you. So this is the class, guys. Let's get back. All set, and if the image is done means updated successfully will tell. Okay, save. Let's get back to our index, and this is our update employee form. Once if you get the response, you are going to check if response dot status double equal to what is the first condition. Let's go to employee controller. Over here we are checking with this validation first. So let's copy this validation 400. Okay, so if this comes over here, you are going to print the error messages. So for that, guys, let me just copy from below because we have already done that. So let's copy this and paste back. Perfect. So this is the jQuery loop, guys, over here. So response dot errors. So this errors you are getting from this. Okay, so this is your error list. Copy this and paste it over here and give all the error values and print loop that. So where you are going to print this all the list of these errors, let me just show you that form. So this is our edit update model, right? So over here you are using this update error list. Copy this and get back where you are going to replace with this save error list. Perfect. Else if okay, response dot status dot 404 at that time, what in case like id not found, which means this one. Okay, this condition we are coming over here, and this is the 404. So copy this. In this case you are going to just give an alert message that response dot message. Okay, you can just show this message only. So this message employee not found. All set. Else you can use if over here your response dot status is double equal to 200, so which means success. So this status is 200, that means employee added updated successfully. Let's copy this and show the message. So before that I want to empty these fields. Let's copy this and paste once again, and instead of remove class, make it to add class. Close the modal function, hide. Okay, so what model you are going to close? Your edit model. Like when you click edit, right? So when I click to update, this model should get closed automatically. So for that I'm going to take that model ID. So where is that model? Edit model ID. Copy this ID value and 200 and paste it over here. Perfect. So after hiding that model, I want to give alert where response dot message. So whatever response message we are getting, after that, after updating, let's fetch the function to reload. So you can just copy this function, fetch employee, paste it. Done, guys. So now let's save and get back, refresh. Let's try to update, guys. So now first I'm going to change this Varun to Varun Govind. Okay, I'm not updating any image, so that image should be that image only. Update, image updated successfully. Perfect. So you can see, guys, the data is updated and image is same. So now let's replace this image. So before that, let me just show you the output over here. Public uploads employee. So this is the image, guys. Edit, and I'm changing the phone number right now. Let's change the image to shoe and update it. Updated successfully. You can see that shoe is updated over here without the page reload using Ajax image. Okay, so let's get back. So you can see that shoe is updated. Okay, so shoe. So guys, we have completed successfully how to edit and update the data in jQuery Ajax Image CRUD without page reload. Okay, so guys, let's continue in next video how to delete this record with the image also. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Please subscribe, like and share.